Hey everyone, welcome to another Cooking with Cathy video. I was actually getting ready to throw together a quick bite for after church, and I said, you know what, I'm going to record this. And some of these cooking videos is a way to help you, stretch out food and not waste it, but ways to save money. And I always try to have a protein as well as either a vegetable or a fruit to go with it. So what I'm making actually is French toast, and I have one tangerine left, and I have a banana that was getting a little ripe, so I'm going to use that as fruit to go with it. So just to show you, I have 4 pieces of bread, and the 2 on top are like they call the tail end of the bread or the butt, and a lot of times people throw that out, but you can make French toast out of it. You can make croutons. You can make regular old toast with apple butter, peanut butter, your favorite butter. In fact, let me get a jar of peanut butter. I'll be right back, and you'll see my little setup here. So I'm trying to use this up. This was on BOGO. Peter Pan's my favorite, and it is honey roast. I do like it, but it's a little sweet for me. So once I finish this, I'm going to go back to regular peanut butter. A chiropractor I used to work for told me really the peanuts are the worst nuts for you, Cathy, but I do like almond butter too. So I love peanut butter, and we're going to put that on 2 pieces of the toast, and the other I'm just going to eat it like it is. So for all you peanut butter lovers, you can add this. I'm also using, this is Aldi brand, but it's syrup that has butter in it. My favorite, of course, is Mrs Butterworths. And no, I'm not endorsed by anybody or sponsored. But one thing you want to be careful of, and I'm trying to work through this and not buy it anymore because I'm not going to waste it. It does have high fructose corn syrup, which is made from corn. And it can really add, weight and extra sugar in your body. So use this sparingly. And some people, when they make French toast or you buy it in a restaurant, they put a little bit of powdered sugar in it. And all powdered sugar is regular sugar that is ground up in like a blender or something, and it's turned to powder. So, and then of course, at the end, I'm going to put cinnamon on it. And I'm using Land O'Lakes butter, my favorite, with olive oil in it, or just regular Land O'Lakes. Always use pure butter because the fake butters, I was told, was like 1 molecule away from being plastic. So anyhow, I've got some butter in the pan. These are nonstick pans. I bought them years ago on like QVC or something, and I made payments on them, but they're by the chef named Curtis Stone, and I really liked them. So I made payments. That came from my days of when we used to do layaway. All right, so what I'm going to do is I've got this little tongs. I think I got them from Pampered Chef, or I got them somewhere, maybe Walmart. So all you do, and I've mixed up, I had 4 eggs left in another dozen. I was trying to work through them, and I just have salt and pepper in it. And when I'm done dipping the bread, I'm going to scramble the eggs and eat that as well. So all you do, I'm sure many of you make your own French toast. I was going to add vanilla flavoring, but I don't have any. So I think what I'm going to do is I have some vanilla yogurt, and I'm just going to mix a little bit with the syrup and the cinnamon to dip it in. I like to dip and have stuff on the side. I don't want my food drenched. So all you're doing is dipping your bread into this egg mixture, salt and pepper, and I had a little bit left in a gallon of milk, so I like to put milk in my eggs to make scrambled eggs because milk makes it lighter. It makes it taste better. It makes them fluffier eggs. So yeah, just put a dash of milk in there. All right. And right now I have the stove on a 3. I usually turn it up to a 4 or 5 when I get everything in here, but you don't want it burning and cooking too fast. So there's another butt. Tail piece. They make great just regular toast too, or you can make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, croutons. You can make toast and then just grate them for like breadcrumbs if you need breadcrumbs, and add your own seasonings. It's just good ways not to waste food. because everything is, you know, it costs, and we want to stretch it as far as we can, especially if you have a big family or you're on a tight budget, which I pray and decree and declare that we're also blessed, that we're a blessing all the time. And every chance you can to be a blessing to someone, do it, because that's the seed of Abraham. But after your tithes, so to your local church or wherever you're being fed spiritually and covered. God says if you put, according to Malachi 3, if you put meat in his house, you pay his power bills, he's going to make sure yours is paid. And if this channel has been, I've had many people tell me that this channel has been their church, and I want to thank you for that, for coming here and trusting this would be the place you would sow your tithes, because until God can lead you to a house of worship. But I always say give to where you're being fed and where you're being blessed and where you're growing spiritually. So I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me just bring this over. But if you look right there, oh, come on. Let me just turn it around this way. But I am toasting the bread. And when all that's toasted, right before I turn it over, I'm going to sprinkle cinnamon on it and then turn it over. So I adore cinnamon on my French toast. Oops, sorry. That nice shot of my wall. Okay. So now it's on 3. I'm going to turn it up to 4, 4.5. And then I'm going to take the butter and put it over here. And when you're cooking, you know, just keep a little garbage can or a bowl or a bag to throw all your trash in. That helps you clean as you go. Clean as you go. That's a good way to declutter and not feel so overwhelmed, just to clean as you go. I've learned that many times. So, all right, so we're going to turn this up. And I'm going to sprinkle a little cinnamon on each side. And the egg and the butter will hold it on there. And the other thing I want to say, and I know many of you do this and you know this, but always wash your hands before you start cooking, so there's never any cross-contamination of what you may have been handling before. Or maybe there's bacteria on your steering wheel and you forgot you had you know, sneezed or something. So, and anytime you handle different meats, different foods, before you go to the next food, wash your hands, because sometimes that can cause people to get sick at their stomach and they don't even know why they're sick. All right, so this is heating up. I'm gonna put it to a 5. That's okay. And this is another way, you know, if you want, you could just put a little cinnamon on your plate, because when you get that syrup on there, and this is what I do, you're going to be able to just put it on there nice and good. I always shake if I can. Just put a little bit on the bottom. Here, I'll do a heart, half of a heart. And that way your toast has syrup on the bottom. Put a little dollop of peanut butter. Again, these have sugars in them, so if you're watching your sugar or you're diabetic, you might could omit the peanut butter or even the syrup. You could just use peanut butter and no powdered sugar. I'm just going to do a little sprinkling just for entertainment purposes. So, this is how my late husband used to eat his waffles and pancakes and stuff. He would mix peanut butter with syrup. And I got so addicted to it after I tried it, with a little bit of cinnamon. But if you don't like it, or you've got a nut allergy, then you don't want to do this. So just a dab more and make it a little thicker. All right, I'm done with that. A little more cinnamon. I'm a fanatic over cinnamon. Cinnamon's good, I think, for your blood pressure. I've read that before. Something in you can just, you know, ask your doctor. Anytime I give advice, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, but I have been around them and I have some in my family, so. All right. You see how good that looks? All right. I was going to use a spatula, but I'm just going to turn it with these little tongs. It's not quite ready. So if you can see, let me move the camera a little bit. But right here is like lunch and dinner, because I'll eat half now and half later. Or I might save some for breakfast in the morning. And for those of you that want to join us this coming Tuesday, we're going to start a week-long fast from 8 in the morning on Tuesday, the 27th, till 8 the following Tuesday, June 3rd, till 8 p.m. And we're going to end the fast with taking communion on the following Tuesday, because we take communion every Tuesday on our live streams. And sometimes it's good to fast and not eat food and let your body, you're not only detoxifying your body, but you're also detoxifying your spirit. Because when we pull away from the world and food, then God can really speak to us. So maybe if you're too involved and too engrossed in things, you might want to fast social media or fast, being around people for a little bit and just get along with God. And what I do is I just keep turning it so it will cook the egg, but also so it will cook the seasoning, the cinnamon in it. And again, you could put vanilla, but I'm going to scramble these when I'm done, so I don't really want vanilla eggs. I've done it before, and it's not bad, but and this way I'm eating 2 pieces of the butts or the tail end of the crust. Can also be like almost just put them together. It's like 1 slice of bread. All right, so I'm gonna turn it up to 6. Yeah, don't start with like 6 or 7, because you'll burn your butter, you'll burn your olive oil, whatever. And if you don't have butter, you can use Pam with olive oil. They don't recommend putting spray on non-stick pans, but if that's all you got, you could use olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. I don't recommend the other seed oils. They're not good for you, especially the way they're processed. Excuse me, see my stomach's growling. It knows I'm getting ready to feed it. Now you can see there's still some egg that hasn't cooked. It's kind of a wet, spongy thing, so that's why I turned it up. All right. We're going to turn it again. Yeah, just keep turning it so you don't burn it and it cooks the egg. You can keep it on there a little longer. I may have put a little bit too much butter on it, but I love butter. Okay. Another way I love to save is not having to do dishes and wash dishes, so I use what I have in front of me. And so this was my egg carton, and I've got my cut up bananas in there, and my last tangerine. So some people don't like the little strings. It's called the pith, but it's not going to hurt you though if you eat them, so either way is fine. Just make sure you don't swallow any seeds. That's not, I mean, you're going to be okay if you do, but it's just not good for your belly. Unless you have certain things you have to watch in your diet, so, or in your intestines. Maybe you've had surgery or something. So, now it's really cooking. I can smell it. The eggs are cooking. Yep, French toast is a good meal. I can remember when I lived in South Florida and it was just me and my little 2-year-old son. I didn't hardly have money for food, and I would get by when I got paid twice a month at the bank, because the child support went to his daycare. I would get a big bag of self-rising flour, and I would get a dozen eggs, and we would eat this a lot. We would eat French toast, pancakes and eggs, and I had other stuff too occasionally, and sometimes people would bless me with stuff, but that was our staple for a while, and we made it. And now I'm punching the devil in the face, because I'm teaching people, or I'm showing them how to cook a good meal if you don't have a whole lot of money. So that's another way you overcome, and you have victory for the thing he tried to keep you down in, and now you're helping others do it and save money. So it's not quite done. So what I'm going to do, stir up these eggs one more time. Sometimes you get stuff, and So I have 4 eggs, salt, pepper, and some milk, some whole milk. And that makes them lighter and fluffier when they cook. And see right now, oh my God, I can smell the cinnamon cooking, which is amazing. And like I said, I love some cinnamon. I put it in my coffee too, and a little dash of butter. I'm actually almost out. I got to get some more butter. But one more time, we want to flip. I'm going to cook that cinnamon in there. Cinnamon's good for you. And if you're not going to eat the eggs or the vanilla flavoring doesn't bother you, you could put vanilla flavoring. I mean, it's not bad, but you can. I kind of don't want vanilla flavoring in my eggs, and I used to do that. And I'd say, well, I'm going to eat it. So, one more sprinkle. I get these at Aldi for like $1 or something, but you know, other stores, Publix sometimes has them on BOGO. It's about the same. So, that's one way you can save money when you're buying food or cooking or anything, is try to get the ads for all the stores in your town. That's what I do, or just go online and whatever you need, try to find it where it's on sale at a store if it's not too far from you. Now, if you have to do a lot of driving, then that's not really saving because you're burning up a lot of gas, but you know what works for you. All right. I just don't want to have any raw egg or taste any gushy egg on my bread. I don't like when I get a sandwich. If I get something at the store, at the deli, at the grocery store, once in a while I'll do that. Like the other day, I got a chicken tender. It was on sale, and I have them cut it in thirds because I can only eat like a third at a time. And and it came with coleslaw, and I said, well, can you put that on the side, because I don't like wet bread, wet soggy bread. And they did. They were very nice. So you can always ask for it on the side. You don't have to get it as is. See, right there, it's still a little gushy. So one more time, let me just put that right there in the middle of the heat. Because we're baking in that cinnamon. The tail ends are, growing up, we always called them the butt of the bread, the cut off, like the back side of the loaf. It looks like their butt. So I'm just going to take that one off. Put it right over here in this syrup and peanut butter. And also, if you want to take that out so it doesn't burn, the little burnt pieces. But if you want to take your bananas and put them in here with a little butter and a little, in fact, I'm going to do it with cinnamon. You can put a little sugar, but the bananas are sweet enough. The riper your bananas are, this is what a former doctor told me. She said when it has spots and it's riper, it has really a lot of sugar, and you don't want to eat. I mean, you want to eat them up, but she said if you're watching sugar, get the like green and yellow kind. So, all right, so let me move that over. So we got peanut butter and syrup. This is where you could mix in some vanilla flavoring, because usually vanilla flavoring goes with French toast. See, it's all right. And if you really like bananas, you can also put chocolate syrup on these if you have any chocolate or chocolate chips, because chocolate and banana taste really good together. All right, so let me just put you over here. All right, so let me get a little butter. It smells so good in here. It almost smells like a bakery. And you can have coffee with this, orange juice, tea, whatever your favorite beverage is, water, big glass of milk. And I always shake my milk up because sometimes I think stuff settles to the bottom. I used to work in the grocery business for 5 years, so I saw all kinds of things. And so you can see it's a little too hot because the butter's turning too brown. So I'm going to turn it back down to 4.5. Now let's go ahead and throw this overripe banana in here. It has sugar of its own, so I'm not going to put any sugar on it. I'd still eat it raw, but sometimes if I have an overripe banana, I will cook it in a pan with a sweet potato with a lid on it, and it's so good together. I always keep a washcloth with me, and I have dish towels too, but that way I can wipe everything up and not ruin my dish towels too fast. Cutting back on laundry. All right. So again, there's butter and there's plenty of sugar in the bananas. So I'm gonna put some more cinnamon on there. And if you want, let's just add a dash. Ginger's good for you. Let's add a dash of ginger. Ginger's good. It naturally warms your body heat up, and it's good if you're sick or have a cold. Put some ginger in your hot tea or honey, which I do have honey. And if I didn't have this pancake syrup that I'm trying to get rid of, I would just use honey, and it's actually better for you than the high fructose corn syrup. But I'm trying not to waste anything. So, scoop up a little bit, which don't use metal on your pans, so I just wanted to get that off. Okay. So yeah, I would encourage using silicone or something wooden to cook with so you don't scrape up your pans. But use what you got. Oh wait, well, I guess I should have done the eggs first. I was thinking I don't want eggs in my bananas, but either way it's fine. We'll wipe it out. Now you see how the bananas are getting soft and they're melting? It's almost like they're turning into candy a little bit. This is a good meal by itself, bananas, if that's all you have. And maybe a slice of bacon or some sausage or something like that. Yeah, I want it to get a little gushy, not too much. So what I'm gonna do, and this is a fun thing to do. I got this, it was on like real good sale, and it's an organic, so I try to get as much organic as I can just because they don't get sprayed with pesticides, and there's a different format, and I've been around farmers, so just take a little sprinkle, just a little pinch, and put it over your, this will be fun for kids too. Like if it's your summertime, kids don't have anything to do, let them cook. Yeah, let them get up here and do this and put powdered sugar, and you can make little faces and cutouts. One thing I started my son off early was letting him help me cook and teaching him how to cook, and now he's a fabulous cook, and so are my brothers, and my dad was too. So kids will love that, and you put berries on there like blackberries, bananas, strawberries. I actually have some frozen fruit, but I wanted to use this up first. All right. Here we go. I love my mini spatula. These are good to have too for things like this. And you just sprinkle a little on your, put them on your, so now you've got a good healthy spice, you got fruit. Yes, you have your sugar, so, but French toast is not fun without sugar. It's wonderful. So, get all that gooey stuff. This is almost like caramelized, or it's thick. I love it. Anyway, so let me put that there. And I have a leftover tangerine. And this is a way you could serve it to people. I know you eat with your eyes first, but sometimes people are eating because they're starving and they don't care. So put one there. Put that in there. All right, so let me get a paper towel. I don't want to have sweet eggs. Get that out. A little tiny bit's not going to hurt, and if you like it, go for it. Do your thing. Okay. So I'm going to get some butter. Yep, I'm out of butter. This is like one of my big time staples. Got all this. And if the handles aren't too hot, which they are, just pick it up and slosh it around. Yeah, I got to do a load of towels. There we go. Take those eggs that you dipped your bread in, one more scramble, and then pour them in. Waste not, want not. Amen. Alright, and I'm just going to use this. But if this is all I had, you can let it cook and just pick it up and turn it over if you want to make yourself a little crepe or a little omelet. I've read it before, and I might have to Google it, but when you buy eggs, drop them in a glass of water, and I think if they float, they're bad. And if they go to the bottom, they're good, but you can always Google that, and that's a way to make sure you don't have bad eggs. So drop it in a fresh egg in a glass of water. If it floats, it's bad. If it sinks to the bottom of the glass, it's good. It might be the other way around, so I'm going to double check. So I'm just going to get this off the side. And you just work it around in like a square or a circle. Give it time to cook. Turn them up just a hair so they cook faster. But yeah, if you can, try to get you some non-stick. Even if you find them in a thrift store, and pray over them, anoint them with oil, and wash them real good. Or, you know, just use your non-stick sprays or butter. We were growing up, my mama got a can of Crisco, and she used Crisco to make biscuits, but she also used it to grease pans when she was baking cakes and stuff, and put flour on it and shake it out. Today, that's what's called Baker Joy in a can. It's the same thing. Baker's Joy, yeah. It's got a little piece of bread in it. I don't care. So, yep, I've got 2 meals right here for lunch and dinner. Or I might just save it for breakfast. I try to get 3 meals out of what I cook. I make enough for 3 to 4 meals, so... But if I get hungry, I'm going to eat it. You have to move it over on the heat and let it just sit for a minute. Oh, thank you, Lord. He just reminded me of something he wanted me to say. It was a piece of bread. Even though we're cooking and imagine you're eating, you know, you're all invited to have French toast with me and the fruit. But the Lord said to tell you while I was cooking this, remind you that he's preparing a table, a feast before your enemies. They're going to watch how God's going to bless you, and they're going to watch you eat. They're going to watch you sit down in victory when they try to attack you and keep you down or rob you of income. I've had a lot of income robbed from me too, so I know how it feels. So what you do is, first you make sure you're tithing 10% of your gross and give an offering with it. Then you'll never be guilty. That's what he preached on today. And what was his name? Pastor Chris, I think. But he was a guest speaker on live stream from Zeal Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. If you ever get a chance to watch it or go out there. But anything that's not the tithe is an offering. So you got to do the tithe first. That's what God told. That's what God told Cain before he slew his brother Abel. You know, he killed his brother, and that's where the spirit of murder came in there. In Genesis 4, he killed his brother over jealousy and over an offering. And God told him, if you'll just do what's right, bring me your best, and I will bless you just like I did your brother. But he had pride and stubbornness. And the pastor brought up, it was really good. He said, you don't have a giving issue, you have a trust issue. And I've been there in my life where I've had to literally just give when I didn't have to give. And that's how you grow in the Lord. That's how you see miracles and breakthroughs. And when your offering is the seed, that's what you sow for a financial breakthrough. That's what you sow for someone's salvation. You're not buying it, but you're planting a seed. And that's, you know, you're not calling it corn or apples. You're calling it someone's salvation. And the power of life and death is in the tongue. So God just brought that up to me for whoever needs to hear that. He said to tell you, start where you're at and start sowing. If you don't have anything, say, Lord, give me seed to sow. Because he said he gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. And I've seen him literally when I lived in South Florida. I didn't have money, but I tithed. I don't care if it was 5 cents and that's all I had, or I got paid and I would give $20. And I would come home from work with a baby praying, saying, God, I need, or he was like a year and a half, I need diapers, Lord. I need formula, or I need grocery money. I told you the story about when my grandpa, the World War II veteran who's now in heaven, came to see me and gave me $100 when I was just standing there praying for groceries, working in a grocery store. And I would come home sometimes and there would be stacks of diapers on my porch, or baby clothes. I had somebody send me a letter that I had met in a women's group from another town, and she sent me, I don't even know if they make traveler's checks anymore. They were by American Express. They sent me like gold traveler's checks, 50, 100, you know. So you can't outgive God. He won't let you. And if fear is attacking you, and trust me, I've been there. I know what it's like to like, Lord, I got more a month than I have money. But he's looking to see if you'll trust him, and he's trying to stretch you. And one thing he brought up today that really made sense, he said, 10 is the number of tests. God has something to do with 10%, like the tithe. Anything above that is the offering. That's what opens the windows of heaven. The tithe pays your rent, puts meat in your house, your mortgage, pays your gas. But the offerings is where the breakthroughs and the blessings come. And he said God asked for 10%, but he also talked about the 10 plagues. He said that's the number of testing. So I don't know who that's for. I'm not going to put these in with something sweet. Y'all, I've had these plates for a long time. They're Princess House, but I love them. I got them when I had a party years ago. I don't even know if they're still in business anymore. I usually do it in the pan, but I'm just going to put it on there. And we're going to add one more protein to offset the sugar and the carbs. I'll clean that up later. Yeah. All these I call these my little bitties from the chickens. Little pieces are the little bitties. Come here, bitty. So if you need to sow a seed, or wherever God tells you, go give it there. Whether it's here or your church somewhere. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this off. Put a little bit more salt. Because salt elevates the flavor. You can have too much, but salt brings out the flavor. Pepper can change it. So, I usually use steak. This is what I use on all my meats. It's steak seasoning with garlic chunks in it. I'm going to be making, I have an onion and a clove of garlic, and I'm going to be making my own onion clove, or onion garlic and olive oil. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm not a huge pepper person. Boy, my daddy, he loved pepper so much his plate would be black. I'm like, Daddy, could you taste that? He goes, yeah, it just makes the food taste better. So I'll throw away the egg carton. This is my little spice area, my little condiment area. Alright. So, let me just wipe this down so it doesn't look so nasty and messy. And any of you chefs out there, you good cooks, give me some tips, ideas. How would you do this? Alright. Oh, now I was going to do one less ingredient. I try to get shredded cheese when it's on BOGO or 2 for something. Sargento is my favorite, but I'll get whatever. It's better to get the block cheese and grate it yourself. Get a grater. For those of you who don't know what a grater is, or you're just starting out on your own in life, I got this at Aldi for $5, and it has the rubber piece so it sits well. But it's better really to grate your own cheese, because they put something called like cellulose gum in these, which is like tree fibers. Okay, fine, it's from the earth, but if you don't have it, just buy this. So I always keep a 6-cheese Italian, which has mozzarella, provolone, Parmesan. I always make sure I have something with Parmesan. And I also have a bag of Mexican cheese, because I cook a lot of Mexican food. You get whatever you like. And so what I do is I just put a little cheese on this. Now, you can do it while it's in the pan, but sometimes it burns. And then you can, if it was in a bowl, so what I do is I just remove this. It's an extra step, an extra dish, but just put the plate over it, set that on it. And that heat will stay in there and it'll melt that cheese. So let me put this up. You know, clean as you go, throw as you go. So put in the comments, well, how would you cook your French toast, and what would you add to it? Are you going to have coffee? Are you going to have a glass of milk? I'm probably going to have a cup of coffee or a glass of milk. I do have a Welch's grape juice. I might just drink some grape juice. I'm not going to do orange juice because I have the oranges. And I'm going to let that cool off and just let the flavors, you know, get married and hang out for a little bit, maybe 30 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and eat it. So thanks for hanging out and having French toast with me. I love y'all. See you in the next video. Bye.